She says, I'm a seeker of knowledge and spend many hours reading Quran. For some reason, I don't feel like my iman has increased. What is the problem and what can I do to increase it? In fact, al-iman increases and decreases. And al-iman increases via the following means. بِالطَّاعَةِ, due to doing good righteous deeds. So reading the Quran is an obedience. But if the person is reading the Quran without an attentive heart, it will be just physical reading without them receiving the spiritual benefit of the Quran. So you have to reflect upon what you're reading, understand the meaning of the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, have a state of khushu'. That applies also to the salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the beginning of Surah Al-Mu'minun admired the believers by saying, قَدِ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, successful indeed are the believers. Their very first quality was not that they pray, no, because the believers in general, they all pray, right? Rather it was الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ, those who tranquil and have khushu' and serenity in their prayer. They reflect upon their prayer. They ponder what they are reading or what they are reciting or what the Imam is reciting upon them if they are praying as ma'mumeen. And based on this amount of khushu', it will be in proportion with the acceptance of the salah. So if the person had 50% khushu', only 50% of his salah will be accepted. So the physical part of the prayer is necessary, but it is not the only thing for the prayer to be accepted. Reading is also required and highly recommended, but reading itself isn't sufficient. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, criticizing the behavior of the disbelievers, why won't they ponder the Quran? Think about the Quran. Or do they have locks over their hearts that prevent them from perceiving and understanding the Quran? And also said in another ayah, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. Why won't they ponder the meaning of the Quran? Reflect upon the Quran. In Surah Al-Ra'd, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, الذين آمنوا وتطمئن قلوبهم بذكر الله ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب. This is another mean of increasing the iman, which is the dhikr, the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But that has several levels. For instance, in the ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the believers who do find rest in the remembrance of Allah, their hearts find rest in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Verily, the hearts do find rest and tranquility in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ. So if somebody is doing the dhikr while he is not attentive, he is saying astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah while he is watching a movie, then this istighfar is in vain. He's saying astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, oh Allah forgive me my sins, while he is smoking or while he is doing something haram. So this istighfar is in vain. As dhikr, the best form of dhikr is when the heart and the tongue are working together. When you say subhanallah and you really mean it. So you say it by the tongue and you are attentive to its meaning. You say it and you know what it means and you mean what you're saying. Okay? So reading the Quran likewise, the person is required to have a state of khushu'. There are people who study religious knowledge and they graduate and they get a degree, but these people are deviants because they were not studying the deen for the deen, they were not doing this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As you know, in the hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam warned us against doing any ibadah for other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and one of the three people who will be sent to fire first, a alim, a religious scholar who studied the deen and taught it to be admired and praised by people. So you have to prepare an intention and formulate an ikhlas before studying and before reading Quran, and think about that meaning. Every letter that you read, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you for it 10 good deeds at least. Knowing that and imagining not imagining because it's not a fact, rather it is a fact. When you read the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is talking to you, Allah is addressing you. Perhaps also studying the tafsir of the Quran would make you more attentive and comprehend the verses and the surah which you are reading, and that will bring khushu' to your heart greater, and definitely that should bring a ziyada or an increase to one's iman. Barakallahu fikum.